Rahim. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about carbohydrates. That what is carbohydrates? Now, in this lecture, I am going to discuss about classification of carbohydrate. Is carbohydrates are classified into three classes: monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. So first of all, according to the contents of carbohydrate, I will discuss about monosaccharide. So monosaccharide is the type of carbohydrate which cannot be further hydrolyzed into simpler form. As you know that monosaccharide, mono mean single or one, and saccharide mean sugar. So it is single sugar, mean it cannot be broken into more simplest form, because there is no chances or there is no contents that it convert into simpler form. Like glucose, it is only one unit, it cannot be further hydrolyzed. If it was in case like disaccharide maltose, so it can be hydrolyzed into two glucose molecules, or if it was sucrose, it can be hydrolyzed into one more glucose and one fructose molecule. So monosaccharide cannot be further hydrolyzed into most simplest form. So monosaccharide are classified on the basis of carbon atom, on the basis of functional group, and on the basis of configurations. So now what is the meaning of carbon atoms, which is the first classification of monosaccharide? It means that monosaccharide which contain 3 carbon atom is known as glyceraldehyde or also trioses. If it contains 4 carbon atom, it is known as tetroses, which is erythroses and detrioses. If it contains 5 carbon atom, it contains riboses, ribinoses, xyloses and lyoses. If monosaccharide contain 6 carbon atom, it should contain alloses, aldoses, glucoses, manoses, guloses, endoses, galactoses and triloses. Now I just write it. We will learn it by a simple trick, that how these are classified on the basis of carbon atoms. So this is the classification on the basis of carbon atom. If 3 carbon atom, trioses, glyceraldehyde, which is also known as glycerose. If 4 carbon atoms, tetroses, which contain deerythroses and detrioses. If 5 carbon atom, it contains riboses, ribinoses, xyloses and lyoses. If it contains 6 carbon atoms, allose, it must be alloses, aldoses, guloses, manoses, guloses and endoses, galactoses, triloses. Now there are short trick for if it contains 5 carbon atoms, like ribose, real XL. We should write its short form by real AXL. So it is short trick for if it contains 5 carbon atom, real XL. So riboses, arabinoses, xyloses and lyoses. And there is also a short trick for 6 carbon atoms, which is R grady man going in GT road. So A, which is alloses, aldoses, glucose, manose, glucose, endose, galactose and trehalose. This is the short trick for if it contains 6 carbon atom. Now classification on the basis of functional group. Monosaccharide, as we have discussed in the previous lecture, that there are two types of functional group. The first one will be aldehyde functional group and the second will be ketone functional group. If it contain aldehyde functional group, or the carbohydrate which contain aldehyde functional group is known as aldo functional group or aldo, and the carbohydrate which contain keto functional group or ketonic functional group. So there are simple there are two functional group will be there. So the first one will be aldehyde and the second one will be ketone. So the third one is classification on the basis of configuration. In this configuration, it means that what is configuration? Configuration means that the arrangement of atoms in three-dimensional space. So there are two types of configuration. The first one is deconfiguration and the second one is L configuration. So deconfiguration, which is on the basis of that when the hydroxyl group in a carbohydrate or any other substance which is present in right hand side, so it will be deconfiguration. And L configuration means that the OH group situated or located at the left side of the compound is known as L configuration. So maximum of the carbohydrates are deconfiguration. There is none of the carbohydrate which have L configuration except for some exceptionals. So we have to discuss about configuration, and here the configuration will be deconfiguration. So as we will discuss that D-glucose, D-mannose, D-glucose, D-allose, D-altrose, etc. D-erythrose, D-triose, we will discuss like that. So this is the configuration. But as we have discussed about the classification on the basis of carbon atoms, so this classification is just for the aldehyde if the carbohydrate containing aldehyde group. Now if the carbohydrate contain ketone functional group, its classification on the basis of carbon atom will be. So classification basis of carbon atoms: keto functional group on the basis if it contains keto functional group, a pre-carbon atom triose which is dihydroxycetone, a 4 carbon atoms tetrose which will be erythrulose and triolose, a 5 carbon atoms it must be ribulose and xylulose, a 6 carbon atoms hexose which will be fructose, sucrose and some other examples. Now the structure of monosaccharide in which glyceraldehyde, which is the reference carbon atom, is its structure formula is CHO, which is 3 carbon compound hydrogen and CH2OH. This is the structure of diglyceraldehyde, and this is if it contains 4 carbon atoms or if 1 carbon is added. So CHO 2 3 4. So this will be OH will be this will be the OH, this will be the CH2OH, and the OH will be here. If the OH group is on the right side, OH H, so it will be D-erythrose. If like AC 2 3 4 CH2OH, this is the OH of this glyceraldehyde. If the OH group is on the left side, so it will be trioses. It will be trioses, and this will be erythroses. Now if it is further into 5 carbon atoms, if it contains 5 carbon atoms like 1 2 2 3 4 5. So this will be right like CH2OH. This OH will be this, which will be this. Now if the OH is on the right side, like here, H H H, this is CH2OH, it will be D-ribose. Now here if I 1 2 3 4 5 carbon atom, CH2, this is the CH2OH, this is the OH, this is the OH. Now if the OH is on the right side and the H is on the left side, so it will be, and this is CH2OH, this will be D-arabinose. Arabinose. Here also 5 carbon atom, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and second 1 2 3 4 and 5, just like CH2OH, OH, H. Now if OH is on the right side, it will be xylose. If the OH is on the left side, like CH2OH, this is CH2OH, this is the OH, this is the H. Now if this is the CH2OH, sorry. Now if the OH is on the left side, it will be D-lyoses. This is for the 5 carbon atoms. Now if in case of 6 carbon atom like this, the similar procedures will be going on for each and every compound, and it will form, from here it will form alloses, from second one it will form aldoses, third one it will form glucose, the fourth one it will form mannose, and the fifth one it will form glucose and endose, galactose and ptilose. Then this similar procedures will be going on for each and every compound, and there's your homework that you will do it by yourself. You may copy these from here also. This is structures of monosaccharides. Up to now we have discussed about the classification of monosaccharide as the contents which we have discussed. So in the next lecture we will discuss about properties of monosaccharide, reaction of monosaccharides, and function of monosaccharide, and next will be oligosaccharide. So from now, thank you so much.